Hello, 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 hello. GleeCon is here. He is in your ear. And possibly on your screen if you use your eyeballs as well for this kind of content. This content being Lore of Warcraft, a show where we have endeavored for hundreds of episodes to cover every single little thing in the World of Warcraft universe. We spun our wheels for probably a year plus on a failed classic attempt, but we are back in a classic walkthrough, much more focused, svelte, streamlined, and being quite successful so far. Almost caught back up to where we were before. We did almost, I'd say, a good solid half of the Alliance run-through of Stonetalon Mountains on the last episode, and we're going to probably bang out the rest on this one. So, without further ado, stay a while and listen to this episode of Lore of Warcraft. When last we left off, we spent quite a lot of time just really trying to get these charged scales or singed scales or whatever they were from the basilisks in Stonetalon for a lad here in Stormwind. So within this Stormwind set, we have to visit Ironforge and we have to visit Stormwind. What Stormwind wants us to do is to talk to Mauren, which we needed to talk to him for a couple reasons. We had to talk to him because he's the person, or she, it's he because it's someone named Colin. Colin wanted us to get the basilisk scales for his wizardly experimentations. So we're going to turn those in. These crackling, charged, pain-in-the-butt scales. These things right here. Crystallized scales, rather. And they were a pain in the tuchus to get. That took us longer than anything else. Probably took us half the episode. Here he is. But we also have a letter. A missive to Colin. Somewhere in here. Where did that go? I thought we had an actual letter. I don't. There it is. It's a sealed envelope. That's called further instructions. Oh, is that what we're turning in? No, we're looking at a scroll from Mauren. Okay, I don't see it. So let's just talk to him.
Hello.
Well, here's, let's turn in a scroll from Mauren first.
Now this spell you need. One that will allow you detonate explosives from a distance. I think I have it. A messaging spell. I believe that's the effect he's looking for. I'll have to create a scroll with the spell impressed upon it. To do that, I'll need debris from a dust devil. While I gather the rest of the components, why don't you head to Westfall and find one of the foul creatures? They are dangerous. But I'm sure it's nothing you can't handle if you're willing to subject yourself to one of Gaxim's experiments. I'll be here when you return.
Alright, so in short, he wants us to go to Westfall, which we're going to bop over there real quick.
See you around.
Hello again, Glee Contessa. Have you already returned from the Vale in Stonetalon with those scales?
This is perfect adventure. Thank you greatly. Perhaps one day in the future I'll be able to help you as you have helped me.
Alright, so he gave us a fantastic... Not really, it's just a 1. So let's go ahead and look at the spreadsheet because, you know, that's oh so important for us to keep everything tight on the show. So I believe, what was it called? Actually, I gotta go back because I can't remember. It was called the Scroll, right? The Scroll from Mauren. So that was the first one we turned in. Cool. It's actually the last one we got. And then by turning that one in, he gave us devils in Westfall. Now, if you remember from when we did Westfall a while back, there are these little dust devils that float around. Retrieval for Mauren was one we started the zone with. We picked it up in a sitch while we were getting ready for the zone. Now that one's done. Hooray for us. I think we also have to go to... Yeah, we have further instructions. That's the one where we have to go to Ratchet. So we've got to remember, Ratchet is a journey that we need to make. So that means when we come back from all of this business, then we need to ultimately go via Booty Bay to Ratchet to fly back so that we can hit that as a stop. Because I was just now actually in my head, I was processing. When we make the annoying AH, not auction house, it's my shorthand for the profanity as heck. When we make the annoying AH journey back to Kalimdor as an Alliance non-mage and non-druid, because if you were a druid, you can at least moonglade it and then go from there to Darnassus, so it's still quite a long flight from Moonglade to Darnassus, but it is something. Alright, why am I running out this way? Well, I'm going to fly to Westfall, but I also wanted to stop at like a place where we can repair, like this arsenal. And I want to repair and sell. Our inventory is chock full.
You need best deals in all of Stormwind, my friend. Won't find any better. Now, what can I help you with?
Let's get rid of some... What was that? A two-handed sword? I don't think it can touch. No. A 180 armor with 7 strength? Okay. Excuse me. Well, we would be gaining a strength but losing 2 stamina, but we would be gaining 9 armor. I like it. Yeah, let's do it. Look at that little blue shine. I kind of like it a little better. We're going to get rid of the burnished tunic. I didn't even see that drop. I'm getting some good drops. Can't remember what you need coal for. It is blacksmithing, but nothing we need yet. We'll buy it when we need it. I'm not going to hold it in the inventory because it is something you can just easily buy. Long tail feathers, I'm pretty sure, are only used in the process of making a, whatchamacallit, come back to me. A certain gloves. This is alchemy, sharp claw. Alright, so we have these different stones. I believe I already checked these boots and they were kind of trash. Yeah. I do remember we got those. I don't care so much about the shields. We had a lot of things drop our way. Okay, cool. I think we can actually... The cloth, linen cloth... you could play the auction house with that if you're a little bit more into making gold than I am. I'm quite lazy about that. We have this wool cloth that we could be using for the quests to turn that in. Look, someone's giving away bolts of linen cloth as I throw it away. But I want to use them up for free first aid points to max our first aid out as much as possible. We should have more than enough opportunity to get the extra 240 cloth that you will need of each type because of the way that we play the game. As of yet, even with my character that's maybe if you're a tailor, then that might be an in-game grind kind of thing. Other than being a tailor, though, should have no problems. My druid has done all of wool and silk. Just hasn't done mage weave yet. Once we get to 80, I can learn one of those books. That's the main reason why I'm doing this. One, I can sell these things. We gained, for all that, we gained 1 point. But we kept a chance here to gain the last 2 that we need, I hope. Fingies crossed. Oh, yippee for us. Bully for us. It was all meant to be. Because now I can get out of this little inventory spot and I can learn not spice chili crab. The heavy silk bandage tome that we have. Alright, that's good for now. That's clear enough, because we still have to go to Ironforge and do proper mining when we go. So now we're going to fly to Westfall and go get ourselves a dust devil. I'm trying to think when would be the best opportunity to do our one hearth, since we ultimately want to fly to Booty Bay.
Where is it you would like to go, lass?
Where would I
Just a
like to
few
go?
Coin, my griffins can
Not
get
Sentinel
you there
Hill and
faster
back.
than even the swiftest
That's
horse.
too quick. So not now. If you look, they can sporadically populate anywhere. So we'll just strike out over here and see if we can find one throughout. If you hold shift when you use Questy, it will actually tell you the level of the mob from that spawn point, 18 or 19. Whereas if you go over here, oh, they're all 18, 19. Which when you first do Westfall, you're probably coming in hot at around level 10 or 11, 9 to 11. So, a level 19, that can wreck your world, and it will aggro you from a million miles away. So, beware the dust devils, but know that much later, when you are getting close to, I don't know, in the mid-20s, you'll get the opportunity to come back and get your revenge. I mean, I guess you could be early 20s, which is when we did it the first go-round of the show. That's why there's a dust devil right there. So right that spawn point, we're going to head right to that one. I don't think it has a 100% drop rate, though. But anyhow, we did the... You know what? Actually, this might be the best chance to use it. Because... Thinking about next, the Ironforge quest, I don't think it has us go anywhere. I think we just have to go to the auction house for it. And then, then we have to head back, but we got to fly down to Booty Bay. So really what we're asking ourselves is, would I rather hearth from Ironforge instead of just hopping on the tram? Or would I... No, that guy did not have it. You freaking joik. Alright, so now we're going to do what we originally intended. Let's look at the map and see if I can make this decision better. So, when I'm already sitting there in Ironforge... Actually, that's a time-saving... But you could just quickly take the tram if you really wanted to, but it doesn't. The tram itself doesn't save that much time, as opposed to flying. I think I read a Reddit or something where someone broke it down. Speaking of Reddit, again, that's another thing. Let me know in the comments if you think it'll help, or if not, I'm going to just strike out and do it. But for anyone that's experienced or maybe better than I am about this kind of thing, or knows someone that is about growing their brand. I've been thinking about starting a few social media, an X, at least, Twitter, X, and, yeah, they stunned me, so it was a choice. I could have used my stun, or taken a stun. Alright, there we go, we got it. Now we're gonna fly back. I've decided it's such a short flight, I can't... Oh, somebody died. Louisa Regis? I don't know. But anyway, yeah, I want to do maybe a Reddit attached to the show, a Twitter, X, and whatever, maybe a Facebook, I don't know. I don't have any social media at all. Zero. I have one Twitter account that I possess in my capacity for my job that I only go on for... I don't post anything. I follow a couple of things I mandatorily have to follow for the government, and I only use it to peruse social media feeds of institutions that are associated with me so that I can report them to auditors. For good things, usually, because it's normally...
Where are you going? Well,
those
if you're
posts
looking to get there quickly, then look no further.
Can serve as a form of communication, and when you work for the government... There are certain things you legally have to communicate with your constituents, with your masses, with the people you serve, blah, blah, blah. It's boring. Major boring crap. But other than that, I don't have social media. I used to, once upon a time, had a MySpace. In my late high school, college, whenever that came out, days, which I used to post music that I liked and poetry that I wrote back when I was a beatnik and thinking I was so deep and cool. And I can't find that MySpace anymore. Don't know what ever happened to it. Can't remember what I called myself on it if I used my name, but it is gone into the ether. All of the super dope GleeCon poetry gone. And then of course I had a Facebook, like when that first came out, everybody had one, and I was young, but then I quit. I was like, this is lame. People just, Facebook's basically like being and looking for group chat, but all the freaking time. It's like if looking for group chat could follow me into my life. Because sometimes it's funny and entertaining. Sometimes you may get information. I particularly liked it because all of the sports teams I follow would post. But most of the time it's just people polarized, fighting at each other. And I don't care, really. In the grand scheme of things, I don't really care, like, what your views are. You could like Trump, you could like Biden, you could be on either side of the spectrum, and you could be like a whatever, agnostic towards your political beliefs. You could do whatever it is, and unless you're my own child, I'm probably not gonna. It's not gonna raise the temperature of what I think about you. Now, of course, if my own son or daughter, it might give me a little concern if they had significantly different beliefs than I do. But that's that's dealing with the affairs of the house. Which I think a lot of people probably feel somewhat similar to that. It's not like if you found out somebody you worked with had a different belief than you, then you're like, oh, that guy, they should die. They're an idiot. They're a horrible human being. Can't. I think that's a big problem about what we have going on right now.
Good day to you.
Hello, Gleekandessa. Have you found the component I need?
Allow me just a few moments and I shall have your scroll ready for you.
Make it.
Here you are, adventurer. This should do nicely. Please give my regards to Gaxim when next you see him. I look forward to hearing about this adventure when it sees its completion. Farewell.
Okay, so he made us a little scroll here. This magical scroll, I believe, is the spell. Now we are going to take the tram. The spell that's going to be used to... I think he's going to be using it almost like a detonation device. Because what we're doing is we're setting up... We're getting the materials and everything needed for this whole Mission Impossible type of thing. Which they actually do Mission Impossible themed quests in Cataclysm and beyond to much greater effect. This is sort of the building of that. This is their first foray into that type of quest building. We're just not... This person said, someone lend me 2,000, something important happened. Yeah, me too. Something important happened, i.e. my need for 2,000 gold. I have two level 41s, and neither one are even sniffing the ability to get a regular mount. My Tailor Enchanter is sitting on somewhere in the neighborhood of 10 gold, and my other character probably has maybe around 30, but she has travel forms, so it's just not happening. I feel like I will not worry about that. I'll worry about it as the time comes. These people that run off and get... You have to make a concerted effort to get to 100 gold by the time you're level 40 or 90 or whatever, depending on your rep situation. That has to be your goal. Playing the auction house, or having alts that can fund you money. That's obviously the number one thing. But most 40s I see have a mount, so they're either... Most people in this game must have a 60. That's the only thing I think of. There can't be that many new people like me whose highest characters on their account are in the 41 range. And it doesn't matter, like, I'm not going to send these characters gold even once we get there. I'm going to make them earn it. So when we get to 40, we're not going to have a mount. Not going to happen, guys. Sorry. We're going to be relying on that Ghost Wolf form and this little, whatever, 3% speed buff or whatever we get as a paladin. What is the buff now? I'm curious. 8%. Sorry, Lee Contessa. You're faster than I thought. I'm going to give... Speaking of, I was trying to look and see. Alright, we got to do the spreadsheet while we're waiting on the tram here. So we completed the Devils in Westfall thing. We got Dust Devil goo or whatever the heck it was. What was it? Dust Devil debris. So we killed a Dust Devil and got the debris, which he used said debris to write a magic scroll. So we completed Devils in Westfall. Where did that go? Right, yeah. And then he gave us special deliveries for Gaxim. Special delivery being said, oh, I should have did both. Special delivery is the said devil debris. Did I go on the, I was gonna say, don't go on the wrong side because I really feel like the other one left. Oh, there we go. So why are we going to Ironforge, you ask? I'm glad you asked. Because the other half of our quests are there. An old colleague is there. This quest is what we say in the biz, booty. Any quest that makes me go to the auction house to buy things is lame. Because we have to buy elixirs of fortitude and minor mana potions. Now, granted, they're not very expensive. Even in the auction house, I just hope inflation's not going to gouge us. The GDKP, that's the number one thing I hate about it, is it contributes to overall inflation. So then if you have a character like me, who's essentially a scrub, who doesn't participate in that, and just wants to organically go through the game, I'm left with... Oops, I forgot to... I don't even know where that is. Oh, not the spot I normally put it. I forgot to silence it. My bad. But I'm left to essentially use my alts if I can to buy materials like that. Have foresight and hoard, which that's okay. The planning that I do does allow me to do that. Should have. I did screw it up in this situation though because I could have saved myself some freaking mana potions. That would have been the most smart thing to do. Here's our old colleague just waiting right here. Lamak Gear Strip.
Gaxim sent you, huh? How do I know you're not lying to me?
I don't know, man.
Ha 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 ha! You need nitromorglyceronium to stop goblins from destroying a forest. I don't care if you know Gaxim or not. I'll give you the stuff just to see you or them explode into itty-bitty pieces. There's a problem, though. I'm all out. But I'll tell you what, you bring me the correct potions, and I'll make some up for you right away. The least you can do is prove you've got some skill as an alchemist before I just give you a sample of my greatest creation. You have a great day now.
So I need 4 minor mana potions and 2 elixirs of minor fortitude. That's lame. So again, what you should do if you're smart is save those things. If you're an alchemist, no worries. Otherwise, you're going to have to do what... Well, first things first, before I try anything else, I will always go to the auction house. Now, sometimes the auction house is ridiculous. Like, for instance, I went to the auction house because I wanted to get my my artisan cooking on my mage character, who, like I said, has about 10 gold, and most of the ingredients, whatever, they were fine. 30 silver or something a piece. Not great, but I can manage it. Or the Alterac Swiss you can buy from vendors. But the giant eggs, which you need 12 of, were selling for 1 gold per egg, which I don't know what you use that for, but I couldn't have even afforded that even if I wanted to strip myself down to the bolt. So I had to beg. Alright, I'm going to take some things out of inventory here because we are going to be messing with our... Ooh, spider silk. Who needed that? Somebody needed that in our... I'm just taking it all out. I'm going to save this keg of Thunder Brew, I guess. Because we're... Actually, you know what? I'm going to put that back in the bag, too. We have a little bit more bag room. And that keg is... We are getting close-ish. We're 2 zones away. We still have to do... After finishing this one, which I think will happen today, because we're doing the long part right now, it'll all bang out quite smoothly at the end. Alright, it is Red Ridge and then... Alright, so we need minor mana potions. Hopefully they sell for cheap. 55 copper for 1. Great. A 5 stack we can get for 2 silver. Okay. We only need a 4 stack. 4 stack I can get for 2 silver. I'll do that. Okay, so 2 silver for the 4 potions I need. That's respectable. Oop, I don't know why I'm leaving. I also need to buy the minor fortitude potion. Let's try this. Minor fortitude potion. Can't even find it on the auction house. Oh, it's elixir of minor fortitude. Oh, that's good. Okay, so a little better. I can get a 2 stack for 17 silver. So I did it. So altogether I had to drop 19 silver for this quest. Which is not too terrible. Not the best. Don't love that I had to pay 19 silver, but it is at least, for a quest of this level, semi-reasonable. Alright, so now that one's done. Now we can go back to old homeboy and turn that quest in. And before we hearth back to Stormwind and then fly off to Booty Bay, which that's going to probably cost us as much as that just did. Then I also want to do my blacksmithing. So we've got a little bit of our work cut out. We could cut, I guess we could have maybe did that shorter. I don't know. Oh, meanwhile, let's get that quest. So it was called An Old Colleague, and we finished that. Go ahead and stretch a little bit further. And the Ineptitude and Chemicals is Fun Part 1. We picked up. And now we're going to complete it. Oops. Blew right by the guy. These are all the Nomergon. Cast Pipe's task is the Nomergon prereq.
Hey.
I can't make any nitromorglyceronium if I don't have the potions. They're vital to its creation.
This'll do nicely. If I didn't know better, stranger, I'd say you knew something about alchemy.
I know how to use the auction house.
The world's not all about swords and sorcery, you know. Here you go, stranger. Take heed with it, though. It's volatile stuff. If you're really a friend of Gaxim's, then tell him I say hello. If you're not, then have fun blowing yourself up.
You like how he turned, like, British all of a sudden. He must have drank some of the potions. Hello, Governor. Thank you for patronizing my institution. Okay, and we now have that. So now we have 2 quests to turn in. Bada bing, bada boom. Walking on the fire. Oh, it's burning my footsies. So first let's do the other half of our... We got NG5, so this is the... Basically the nitroglycerin, the explosive component. So we have the explosives. And we have the spell that's going to be used as a remote detonator. And now we can use those things to really screw over the Venture Co. Alright, so we're almost done with our tasks here. It's getting hot. Hot back here. It's a hot day today. It's been very, very hot in the world lately. And where I live is no exception. Okay, so let's smelt up the 14 tin. Not a ton, but maybe we can build a couple pieces of gear, get ourselves a couple points higher on the old blacksmith ladder. And Iron Forge is the place to do it. And then we actually have that iron. We can start smelting away too. So we got to swing by the bank as well. It's actually going to be easier, I think, to use the hearth, and then when we pop up in the end, we'll be right next to the Stormwind Bank. Then we have to fly from Stormwind to Booty Bay, and that will allow us to turn in further instructions, which was... That's going to lead to the chain that wants us to kill Gerenzo Wrenchwhistle, so we do have to do that. Alright, we're still living in a world where we have to smelt bronze. So, I had a delightful time with the family yesterday. My daughters came over, my big kids. I had all the kids here, and we had lunch, and just really hung out. Then she went out with her friends, being a 20-something, doing what they do, and then I just hung out with Lady Gleekon last night in the outdoor man cave, I guess, if that's for lack of a better word, better description. It was a nice rainy, stormy night last night. So normally in summer we don't hang out there very much because it's so hot, but it's out there in my repurposed garage that is now a little pool hall. Okay, what are we gonna do now? Let's look at what we have. First of all, we can make these grinding stones. The rough grinding stone, unnecessary. I guess I don't even have the stones needed, but I can make some coarse ones. They're useful. And for the heavy grinding stones, we actually have a small chance at leveling up our blacksmithing. I'll take it. I would say, I don't know, maybe engineering's the toughest. Now, see, now they take 3 stones per. Oh, we got a piece of. Nothing else. Got a piece of blacksmithing out of it. I love that. All right, now what can we do? I like to just stick to the oranges when I have a crafting profession like this. Okay, so this is 8 and a silver, and those 6 is silver. 5. Well, that's the winner right there. 7, 6. So the thing that takes just a straight 5, they take coarse grinding stones with it, but that's the clear winner. So we're going to go ahead and build 2 of those, and it's an 80 with a 5. Ours is essentially an 83 with a 5. Attack power is, I don't know what else strength does for us. Oh yeah, the amount of block. I think we did the math last time, and it's basically 1 point of strength will give you 2 points of. I didn't repair. 1 point of strength will give you 2 points of attack power.
What sort of fast learner is what ye are?
Alright, so now we can build the shining silver breastplate.
Your work any day of the week.
And what does that look
You
like?
still have some learning in you. Go talk to Benger's Deepforge. He's a hard taskmaster. But he's
Okay, it's a
also
tooth.
one of
That's
the
quite
best.
a nice breastplate. Quite a nice little thing here. So it would take everything that we have, except I don't have any iridescent pearls. But as a result, I would get a 214, 14, 6. That's pretty dang good. Alright, so that is good enough that it's worth checking out the price of an iridescent pearl. And then considering how much I want to splurge. If an iridescent pearl is hovering right around 1 gold per pearl, I'm going to be tempted. I have the gold to splurge, and that's a pretty nice upgrade for a chest. If it's beneath a gold, I'm snatching it up, no questions asked. If it is significantly more than a gold, then it's going to be a no from me. Now that we're right here, I'm on it. Well, let's put it all away. Put everything else away that I need, so I don't have to go to the bank when I'm there. Alright, let's check iridescent pearl. Iridescent. Not 100% on that. They're under gold. Gonna do it. So yes, iridescent pearl. Need 2 of them. This one's right at a gold. So I will go ahead and spend the nearly 2 gold needed for these stupid pearls. But what we're doing is we are basically we're taking that almost 2 gold and buying a blue with it. Pretty good. Can't really argue with that very much. Alright, so all my bronze will be gone. I don't need any grinding stones, but I can keep those stacked. So the rough grinding stones, they're kind of useless to me now. I need to keep my metal bars. The iron bars I'll also keep because I can build on these different stones here. I need the silver bars in my inventory. I need those moonstones. I don't need these little gems. I don't need that leather. And spider silk I don't really need either. Okay, so I do only need 2 of these moss agates. So split my stack and put half of them away. Okay, the silver bar, I guess I could split that stack either. We only need 4 of them. Okay, so this does allow me to clear up some bag space. Right? I mean, what do I don't even really need the rough grinding stones. I'll put the rest of those away too. No. Yeah, no, I'll keep them. No, I won't. No, I won't. No, I won't. I changed my mind. Okay.
Watch, get her back.
So we just need an anvil. And then we're gonna... Oh, I gotta go to the mailbox. We need an anvil and a hearth, and we're good to go. Then we gotta fly down to Booty Bay. So it was a little expensive to make my to make this breastplate, but it's just too good. Obviously not the kind of thing you're going to crank out all the time, the shining silver breastplate, but if you look at the actual stats, we go from a 180 to a 214, so 34 points of armor. So we have about 1200 right now. 1200 gives us 30, so 400 gives us 10. So 100 gives us about 2.5. So 30 would give us about 0.8%. So it is a 0.8%, almost a 1% reduction in damage. Cool. If you think about your overall life, that's about the equivalent of 10 hit points or something. But not really, because you're getting that off of every hit. So it doesn't quite track in the same way. But that's not what it's really about. The 6 stamina, that's 60 more hit points, so that's good. And then we're giving 7, so an extra 14 attack power. If you look at attack power right now, 18 damage is coming out of a total of about 260, which is around 1.5. So 1.5 times that. I'll do the math. I'll do the math as we fly. So just like that, we've changed our armor, and that's it. That's as much as we can afford. It was worth it to me, in my humble opinion. And we gained 13. I forgot to put my pearls away. I clutched my pearls. Come now. Come now, Gleekon. I could sell some of those potions if I wanted to this fall. Alright, time to hearth.
Watch your back.
Now we're gonna hearth back to Stormwind. So we've spent almost what we would normally do as an entire episode, where maybe like 45 minutes in or so. And all we've done is the part that's long. This is why this would have normally been a more time-consuming endeavor for us, because that travel takes up a big, almost, it's going to take, in total, it'll probably take like an hour to do all of the traveling necessary for this little part.
No one's ever stolen anything out of here. Not in the whole history of the whole history.
I mean, that's a good brag, Goblins of Harry Potter. Alright, so now we're flying down to Booty Bay for the journey, which will then take us back to Ratchet, where we will turn in one more quest, the further instructions, and then we will fly from Ratchet over to Stonetalon Peak, where we will turn in Reclaiming the Charred Vale Part 1, and then continue on with that. We have a few quests to do. I'd like to do them today. I would like to. I think we can. And then that will set us up for tomorrow, beginning a journey in... Oops, I went too far. Tomorrow, bring our journey into Red Ridge Mountains. So that's our next zone. That's an alliance-only zone with a tiny, tiny footnote that we will do after for the Horde. It's a little bit more robust than this because of the inclusion of a pretty decent amount of elite quests that happen at the end. So we could probably bust all of the elite quests out in one loop if we get a group together. That's pretty much how we're going to have to do it at this level. Even at 28, which is where we're going to be. I don't think we're going to hit 29 by the time we go there. Now, by the time we're doing the elites, sure, we might be level 29.
Where is it you would like to go, lass?
Where would
Just
ye
a few
like to
coin,
go?
My griffins can get
Booty
you there
Bay.
faster than even the swiftest horse.
Okay, so not the longest flight in the world if we can come from Stormwind. Someone booped my nose. Dagnabbit. Nicole booped my nose. Alright, let's look at the attack power. Let's do the calculus on that. Calculations, not calculus. So 272, we can actually figure out right now how much each attack power translates into strength, into overall DPS. So we want per one attack power, so we will do our unit rate of 19.4 DPS. Now that might change per level, don't know. Divided by our overall 272 to make 1 point of attack power translates into a little bit more than 0.07 of a damage. So the 14 attack power we just got translates into 1 DPS. Which is not that much if you want to think about our overall DPS. We're at 45.1, so we gained 1 DPS from that. So we gained just under a 1% to our life. We gained 2.25% to our DPS. So it seems, and we gained 60. I mean, to our damage, and then for 60 out of 1,100, that's not that big a deal. But these are all. That's about 5.5%. So, not too shabby. The actual stamina increase to life was probably the biggest thing. But some of those things, like DPS is pretty solid stat. That's a heavily weighted stat. To go up 1% in that is pretty good when that's your focus. When to gain a little bit overall damage reduction and life like that, like those are good. That's a good haul for just under 2 gold. For 1 gold 80, not too shabby, can't complain. And it gave us a level of blacksmithing to boot. But as we progress forward with our blacksmithing here, we have 8 and a bunch of stuff. The leather is what gets that one down. Without leather, we're not doing that. 5 in leather. I mean, we could buy leather, but it's not worth it. 14, no. 8 in leather, no. 12. So that's not happening again. Now this right here, the 8, that's a possibility, those gauntlets. 118 and 4 and 5. Oh yeah, that's actually better. So we could do a side grade next time once we get a little bit more bronze to make slightly better gauntlets. Because we would lose 1 stamina and we would trade up and we would lose 1 spirit to gain 4 strength. It's a side grade, but not the worst. Our boots, we already have them on. So, and then of course those bracers are good to crank out. So we'll do a side grade with our gloves if we haven't already upgraded our gloves. I mean, it's such a straight side grade, really. It's actually an upgrade. It's a tiny, tiny upgrade. Alright, so we're in Booty Bay for no purpose other than to go to Ratchet. If you're crazy at 28, you could start Stranglethorn Vale. As a matter of fact, I believe we started Stranglethorn Vale somewhere around this level with our characters, and it was a nightmare. It was so painful. It's basically a humongous part of what killed our first run, was being pigeonholed and feeling like we had to start. We were killing off our options because we were dividing so much of my screen time content between 9 different characters instead of 2. that it really hurt us. And we were missing things. We were missing tiny little things. Things that at the time I deemed not important, but they were, in fact, important. My boomstick. Alright, so after this, we are getting close. I'm hoping that within that next 6 minutes, we'll be where we need to be. Back in Kalimdor. And we will turn in the further instructions, and then we will fly back here, which will then send us back down. We have to go to the Charred Vale again, but we're actually going to come over here and do the Gerenzo things first, because we have 2 things we need to turn in. We've got the Venture Co part, but something there is also going to open up a little bit more in the Charred Vale, because if we look at what's available on our spreadsheet, this is what we have to see. Can we finish this? Those 2 are going to get turned in easy. Covert Ops Alpha and Beta, that's quick. We can do both of those and bust those out. That doesn't scare me. Kaela's update, I believe, wants us is a breadcrumb sending us back to Ashenvale. Easy. Now, where does Enraged Spirits come from? We're going to turn in the Charred Vale right now. Gerenzo, further instructions 2, and then Gerenzo Wrenchwhistle. That's one we have to complete. That's all not hurting me too bad. The Wounded Ancients, combined with the Enraged Spirits, and possibly reclaiming the Charred Vale too. That's the thing. I don't know where some of these come from. I can't remember. I feel like it's possible that the Night Elf next to the Gnome might give us some of these. We're going to find out together. I kind of like, especially when I have it in me, when I have it in my heart and soul, I kind of like these longer episode formats because it's really going to increase the speed at which we finish this show. So just upping the episode from an hour to an hour and a half to 2 hours will really let us get through the content so much quicker. Really, it'll effectively double the time. And because if we really, before we were looking at a timeline of like 3.5, 4 years to finish Classic at the rate we were going when we had 9 characters. Now that's sped up. If we stay at around hour to an hour and a half an episode, we're still looking at about a year and a half. And I think we can get this done in under a year if we keep this format. I know I can keep it up for the next couple weeks. I have some things going on next week. We have to do the celebration of life and funeral preparations for old Eugenics. I've got some appointments I have to do and things like that. That's what I got. That's on the radar right now, but I don't think any of that should really hamper me because I'm still on work from home mode, so I can bust things out around those. Like your schedule's just more flexible. I'm strongly tempted. I'm gonna give it another 6 months, 8 months, a year, something like that. My current job, but I'm strongly tempted based on how things kind of unravel in that time frame. I think the writing will be on the wall once I work with my slew of new bosses. How things go. And whether or not I decide to kind of shake things up or look into a working from home scenario. The way that this show unravels will also help that. I mean, it depends too. Working from home may or may not be all that it's cracked up to be. There's some things that are, it obviously has a lot of conveniences. And I don't know, we're just going to see. Got no answers on that. But the show for me is really becoming my top priority. I love it. I love making this with you guys.
Lots to do, lots to do. The Union's given us deadlines, and they're not the sort you want to miss.
Okay, so he says, hello there. How can I help you?
Physics, eh? Can't say I trust him, but this information seems good enough. What I wouldn't give to have the venture company out of my hair. They do come up with some good machines, though.
I can't deny that we've benefited from using some of the improvements they've devised. The matter of this gnome that has been hired by the venture company has caused a bit of a stir in Undermine. The trade princes do not approve of Razdunk's consorting with this Gerenzo. Riddlevox has asked me to take care of the problem, and I'm sure he was instructed to do so by one or more of the trade princes. Of course, the director didn't tell me that. Let's just say I have a hunch. Whatever the case, Gerenzo must be removed, and it would be a fitting test to have physics take care of him. Have a good one!
So, I'm not sure who this Razdunk character is. I wonder if Razdunk is the... this is a little bit of a far flight. I wonder if Razdunk... I want to kind of scan that again, this further instructions part 2. So, the venture company's hired a gnome. They don't like that, because for what that it says it's caused a stir in the Undermine, which makes me think that the Venture Co. is a goblin operation, primarily, first and foremost, operating out of the Undermine. Okay? Trade princes don't like Razdunk's consorting with this Gerenzo. Maybe I've missed something, but I wonder if Razdunk, because he doesn't seem to be one of the characters in Stonetalon, I wonder if he is a head Venture Co. person that we encounter later. I don't know. Hit me up if you do know the answer to that. It says, Riddlevox has asked me to take care of the problem. Maybe he's a different one of the trade princes. Oh no, he was instructed by one of the trade princes. So, there you go. So, there's a chain here of power. The director didn't tell me that. Let's just say I have a hunch, so maybe Riddlevox is the director. Whatever the case, they're saying, tell physics, this is his test, tell him to get rid of Gerenzo. So that's our next further instruction. So let's take further instructions 1 is now completed. Huzzah. And that's allowed us to pick up further instructions 2 with Gerenzo Wrenchwhistle. I know that's actually, no, let's not do that. I forgot, that's not how it's going to go, the way we turn it in. So we're picking that up, but we're actually not turning it in, because we've got to fly now. So we're going to fly through there. We can turn this in, turn that, turn in all those things. We're going to have a bunch of turn-ins right now. And then that will give us the last, final, small batch of quests in this zone. So right now, as when we land in Stonetalon, based on the way we previously run this show, or right before we took off, that would be an hour for us. This would be where we would have ended it in previous episodes. So with this new format, we are now going to essentially undertake the kind of back half of the episode and see what we have going. So again, we have 2 things we're going to need to do in the Charred Vale. We're going to need to kill the fire elementals, and we're going to need to kill a wounded ancient. So we could have avoided the harpy and everything and saved that for later, but no, we couldn't. We needed to kill the harpies first. Where are we going to get those from? And we also have to, we're going to have to set off a couple bombs and kill Gerenzo Wrenchwhistle. And that should be done. All of these various chains will result in a couple go report back to Astronars, which we should be able to do. And then one of those is further going to say, go back to report to Darnassus. So we'll have to fly there and turn it into the Queen, which will cap off this level. So the one thing that's a potential snag is when we go to the Charred Vale to hunt the fire elementals, the RNG on the dropping of the material you need for the fire elementals can sometimes be atrocious. It can be as bad or worse as the basilisks we had. So if this episode runs over 2 hours, like some of the ones we've done in the past couple days, it's going to be because of that. If not, we could potentially wrap all of this up in the next 30 minutes. As all of the other stuff, killing Gerenzo, setting off the bombs. I mean, sure, it takes a minute to fly back to Astronar and it takes a minute to fly to Darnassus, but that's just turning in quests. That's not too bad. That's inevitable, non-negotiable stuff. We have to fly. After this, it'll be we will log after all that, because if it's been more than 45 minutes, we'll hearth back to Stormwind and log. If not, we're just going to log, because ultimately we're going to need to go to Stormwind and march our behinds into Red Ridge Mountains now for tomorrow's episode. That's my goal, unless we hit a really terrible snafu, which we'll go back and see how that is. We actually have to stop. We're going to have to walk to Red Ridge because we need Theocritus's Watchful Eye. Let's look and see, do we need to pick up anything at Darnassus while we're there? So that's a Nomergon quest. That is a Black Fathom Deeps. One that we don't need to worry about. Okay, so Darnassus doesn't care about us going to Red Ridge. What about Ironforge? We already turned in the blacksmith one. No. That's Shimmering Flats. Those are all Nomergon things. So no. Cool. So then it's just, what about here? No. No. Speaking of Fortitude, that is a Red Ridge. So we do have to pick that one up. No. No. Okay. So the only one that we have to pick up is the Speaking of Fortitude, which actually sends us into North Shirabi. So there's a little bit of prep work that we have to do, because we're going to have to go up to North Shirabi, do a little bit, and we have to swing by Theocritus, the Watchful Eye, to get part of the chain here. And then we'll walk our way into Red Ridge, where we'll do these quests. Start that zone. So that should be the setup for tomorrow. It's good to kind of preview if you are trying to be a completionist. The number one area you can screw yourself over and have a question mark, an exclamation mark that'll never disappear on Questy is by not looking at all of your breadcrumbs. There is an app, not an app, a mod, and I don't think it's, oh no. Man, they are really flying us the long way around to get to Stonetalon Peak, but I mean, I guess it's whatever. Wouldn't it be nice if they could just fly right there? Yeesh. I think in retail they changed some of these flight paths. Also, retail, if you're part of a guild, you can have like a 10-minute Hearthstone. And flying mounts with, like, especially now the dynamic flying mounts, there's just, you can get freaking wherever you want. There's not even any need of a flight path. Actually, the dynamic mounts is one of my favorite upgrades that they've done, because now you've removed this passive element of the game. There's no need to plan. Like this, back in the day when you're paying by the minute, and I guess this was a part of it. Also, it made the world feel big and open. I get that. But it certainly lost a little bit of its luster in retail. Now that the Blood Furies have suffered such a great loss, perhaps the work of restoring the land can begin. Okay, so he's going to give us the second half of reclaiming the Charred Vale. The Blood Furies have been subdued, but they will regroup soon enough if action is not taken. Far south of the Barrens is a land known as Thousand Needles. If you travel west in Thousand Needles until you reach the lush forest's edge of Faralis, you'll find a druid named Falfendel Waywarder. This great and wise druid is capable of calling forth great forest spirits which can aid in the reclamation of the Charred Vale. Send word of our need. Seek him out at once. Okay, so I don't know. We gotta take a peeky-poo. First of all, let's look and see. Oh, yeah. Let's look and see we did the reclaiming the Charred Vale. That's done. And we've picked up reclaiming the Charred Vale number 2. I don't know where I don't know that that's, if it's a breadcrumb, we got to take care of it right now. I didn't realize, I thought that was going to be a fight, but let's take a look at reclaiming the Charred Vale. I spelled all of that wrong, but whatever. Google's smart enough to make up for my dumb-dumbness. All right, it's just I thought so. It's just a breadcrumb. Doesn't open up from anything else. Doesn't give us anything. Doesn't lead to any quest. Doesn't unlock, so far as I know. So now let's look at the Wounded Ancients. See where that comes from. Okay, so this quest is started down there from, it requires Kaela's update. Got it. What about the Enraged Spirits? Is that what it's called? So that's the one that starts down there with her. Yeah, Enraged Spirits. Let's take a peeky poo at that. Okay, that's also started by her. Gotcha. So those are the two. She will give them to us. So the only thing that this is going to give us right here is it's giving us a breadcrumb. And it's really tough because we've got to go down there, which means we got to fly. There's no real way around it. We go to the because you have to go down here into Thousand Needles. Oh man, and there's no quick way around it. You could go to Ratchet and back down. Alright, let's stop screwing around. I guess we'll see, because now we have this extra little path we're going to have to deal with. We are going to have to deal with ending the zone there. I wanted to end in Darnassus, but it's just one added little stupid wrinkle. Again, what it is it's going to set us up with a flight path down there, which is going to be our only flight path, the best flight path that we can use for Razorfen Crawl, Razorfen Downs, doing the Thousand Needles. At least getting us... Really, it's just for those two things. Because, if we go through Desolace and make the run to Nigel's Point, that's annoying. And what about Feralus? Feralus has another flight path, so this is really the closest thing we'll do. Yikes. Okay. So I was wondering, if we went through Desolace... If we went through Desolace, we could walk through Desolace, walk through Feralus, and get there. That's not any better than flying to Ratchet. It's a pain. It's really quite a pain. It's just adding passive travel time onto the episode. See how long it takes us to do everything else. So, at least she will give us the two things to finish the Vale off, so we can finish all the real quests in the zone, and then it's really going to just be about the reporting in. If we do Darnassus, if I do all the reporting in, go to Darnassus, or, because we're going to get these, there's no real better way. That's what I'm trying to think is. So we're going to get these quests. They're going to want us to go back to Astronar. So we can walk up to Astronar by going through the Talon Deep path. Comes out right there. So if we walk up the Talon Deep path to Astronar, it's really not worse than walking to the Charred Vale. And we walking up to the, the top little vale at the Stonetalon Peak. So if we do that, then we're in Astronar, then we can fly to Darnassus and fly down. Another alternative would be walk all the way back up, fly around, that's annoying, then fly there. And fly back to Ratchet. Yeah. I think the walk-in turn-in is probably our best bet. Because it's about as far to walk up this Talon as it is to walk to Stonetalon Peak. And then you don't have to do the long flight. Annoying. This is an example. I would say there are definitely some things that the Alliance is better about. Their capitals are way better. Travel between the capital. That's not even true. Travel between the capitals is worse. Darnassus is so isolated. I like the setup of the cities better. A little bit. Orgrimmar is a pain in the butthole. Especially in its current form. Alright, so anyway, as I'm staring down the barrel of this, we just got massive amounts of travel coming up. There's not really a lot that we can do about it. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I really wanted to finish the zone today, but because of that actually, and also it makes for such a boring episode. If our episode is only doing that. Okay. It's all right. It's just not ideal. I really did forget that the final quest was sending us way down there too, and it's so annoying. And we don't have a mount. It actually wouldn't matter if this was like real life and that was what I had to do. It would be no big thing. It's the fact that I feel like I owe you guys something within a certain amount of time, and I mean, you know, I don't know why I'm being so self-critical, because we all know, we all play this game. We know how it is. So what's on? Yeah, so it was delightful to have the family over. That was nice. It's blisteringly hot today. We got today and tomorrow's couple days. Now that I'm back from my trip, I'm gonna get back on my pie making expedition. So my pie efforts here are, I'm going to be making a pie. A blackberry peach crumble is my goal. I'm going to make my crust just has not been good. It's just too chewy. So I'm going to try a new technique today. That's what I'm excited. I'm going to do that after this episode's over, and then tomorrow I'll make the pie.
Pleased to meet you.
All right, let's turn in our 2 episodes. Let's turn in Ineptitude Chemicals Fun first.
Be seeing you.
Lower level. Actually, they're the same. I don't know why one was green and one wasn't. Ah, goody, you're back.
Your task has been done flawlessly, adventurer. NG5 is the unequivocal component in the recipe to ignite the wagons of dynamite. What? Yes, dynamite! Wagons of it. It's the perfect distraction, I tell you. Just wait and see.
And, aha, you're back. Do you have it? Do you have the spell?
This is perfect, adventurer! Well done! This spell, mixed with the NG5, shall make the perfect remote explosive. We'll be able to create the perfect distraction for you, so you can sneak in and steal the Venture Co's letters and engineering plans. That will surely slow down their deforestation act.
Okay.
Alrighty then.
Now he's going to give us Covert Ops Alpha and Covert Ops Beta.
This is it, adventurer. Pay close attention. The devices are done and ready to be used. Take these pages. They'll explain more about the detonators and explosives and where you should place them. Remember, the success of your mission doesn't depend on how much destruction you cause. Plan Alpha's success depends on you bringing back the Venture Cumbersea's engineering plans from inside the lumber mill south of Cragpool Lake.
Cumbersea's? That's weird.
Off and away. Plan Beta's just like Plan Alpha, adventurer. We cause a distraction and then steal their precious letters. The key is to get their letters. Remember that. The pages I gave you already will tell you where to plant the explosives. Just get back here alive and with those letters...
Yeah, so tricky little quest. So first of all, we did turn in the Ineptitude and all that stuff. So we turned in the Ineptitude and Chemicals Fun, Part 2. And we turned in the special delivery for Gaxim. Cool. And we picked up, so we can check those off. So getting through the zone. And we picked up Covert Ops Alpha and Beta. Nice. I also like that it's 2 quests. Okay, so now we're going to hop on down and also pick up the Gerenzo finale part of his chain. That's Alpha, that's Beta. These are interesting quests. I do like, this is a good example of them trying to get creative with the questing process, and it's fun. I really think it's where World of Warcraft shines, is in some of the unique ways they try and make us do quests throughout the years. Because before this, all that really existed in questing was, in this type of game, was kill X amount of things.
Eliminate Gerenzo. Now there is a prospect that I have no objections to. Gnomes are bad enough as it is, but what I learned about Gerenzo only makes it worse. Apparently, he was one of the head engineers in Gnomeregan, where he was working on their secret project. We could never infiltrate Dunmarok well enough to find out specific details. It was a failure. Our reports say that whatever it was literally exploded in their faces. I met Gerenzo once.
Okay, so we've done these. I'll let him talk.
It's not
in the
easy on
background.
the eyes. His flesh looks like it's rotting away, and he's grafted metal and gears onto his body, replaced some of his limbs with mechanical ones. Northeast of here, far above Cragpool Lake, up near the water wheel, is where Gerenzo watches over the entire site. There's no way I could fight my way up there, not to mention take on Gerenzo. But you look like you might be able to make it. If you kill him for me, I'll make it worth your while.
Gotcha, homie. All right, so we did complete the further instructions part 2 and picked up Gerenzo Wrenchwhistle, the last neutral quest in the zone, bully for us. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and do beta first just because of the way the map's laid out. I'm going to go hit up beta, then hit up alpha, and then go here. Let's read the package. So we have to actually open the Covert Ops pack, and it gives us red explosives, blue explosives, a remote detonator for blue, and one for red, and instructions. Okay, you should have your NG5 charges and detonators ready. I've labeled them for you. Blue is for the lumber mill, red is for the mine. So we're about to go use red. I did some scouting, and there are enough explosives throughout Windshear Crag that it shouldn't be a problem at all for you to get in, plant the explosives, and then get out before detonating them. Remember, this is a distraction. Get far from the wagons before the goblins get there to check out what happened and sneak in behind them. If not, you'll die. Be careful with them, by the way. The nitromorglyceronium alone could reduce you to dust. I've encased some liquid in copper tubes, which should keep it safe and stable. The scroll you got from Colin I used on the detonator boxes. They'll now send a silent message to the NG5 charges after you've set them. I used a simple stealth Worgen mechanism to make sure the wire conductivity is optimal and the flow of the nitroglyceronium between the differential fluid is better than average. Before I get back into the details about my design, let me explain where you should place the explosives. Plan Alpha is the lumber mill. There's a wagon in front of the lumber mill. This is northeast of their deforestation and lumber collection construct. I suspect the engineering plans are inside the lumber mill. To plant the charge, head to the back of the wagon. We need to use this wagon for this one. Once it's set, make haste and get some distance. When you're ready, hit the detonator. So, by the way, if you're doing beta here, you can stand out on this hill. If you look at the finger of the lake on the mini-map, it's right out here. You'll be able to easily see it. And now that we have the thing, we can actually plant the trap. Once they plant the trap, all of these mobs that normally clog up this will come running in. So you need to kind of be off to one side. And then we can go in and get whatever. There's something on the table here. So we're going to do that while we continue to read. Oh, it says you can click it, but then we can't. We need the red explosives, right? Okay, so we've set it. Now we need to back off and then blow the charge for red. Now they should start running. You can see it blowing up. We should see them all run. When you're ready, hit the detonator. Okay, so they're running. You might still have to kill a couple kobolds, as you can see. And using Questy, I can kind of see here is our documents. Okay, I've ensured a strong signal by routing copper and silver wires with a Malthusian antennae. So if you do that right, that quest is quite easy, as you just saw. If you screw it up, it is instant death. I have died on this quest before, for sure. Malthusian antennae array within the casing of the box. That should give you good range. Just be careful of the goblins nearby. They won't appreciate my creation if they catch you in their sight. Oh, just in case it wasn't obvious, don't be near the wagon when it blows. It'll hurt. I've never tried that. Plan Beta is what we just completed, the Windshear Mine. I saw the goblins using another wagon of explosives north of the mine's entrance. I think that should be a good enough place to plant NG5 charge red. There's our lumber mill over there. After you set the charge in the back of the wagon, get some distance and hit the button. If the goblins don't come running to check out the commotion, it's probably because the mountain came down on top of their heads. The Venture Co. letters are outside the mine, I think on some crates on the bottom level, high level security. Good luck, and remember, blue charge lumber mill, red charge mine. Oh, and destroy this letter after you've accomplished your mission. Maybe I should look into a way to make these things destroy themselves after they're red. That's not a bad idea. Get full Mission Impossible with it. Alright, so here's the other. We need to go in the lumber mill, exact same concept as before. The lumber mill is clogged to the brim with mobs you otherwise would At our level, we could fight our way in. So that's what you'll have to do if you screw the mission up. You can either abandon the mission. If you waste your charges, you can either abandon the mission, or you can fight your way in and just get it by hand. You don't have to use any of these bombs. Okay, so we're going to set the blue charge, go walk a little bit of a distance away, and then blow it. It says destroy the letter. I don't know if you really need to destroy it. You don't really need to. Okay, we're gonna wait for them all to run. They're starting to run in. Notice like ants, they're coming, but not all of them came. Okay, and then that leaves, I think I came to the wrong side. Somewhere in here, there is a, so that mob still stayed. So obviously, not a perfect thing. There's the, I guess I came in from the wrong side. Come in from the right side, you have time. You got a few, you don't have all the time in the world. You have a little bit of time. Okay, so we got both the plans. We got their engineering plans. Do I need the copper? I think so. I think it's time to start getting the copper and iron, copper and tin. Now I need copper as well. I have 3 pieces only, and I've got no bronze, so yeah, time to start. All right, so we've done that mission. We've done both missions. We'll go turn them in a second. First, let's go kill Gerenzo while we're here. Okay, so now it's time to do that. We've already done that one. This is where we walk around. There's a little trail. And we hit the top of the tower. So yeah, whatever. We'll bust it out. Spend some time together. I'm enjoying it. Yeah, it's because now that we've done all this, it's really going to be a matter of that RNG is really going to damn us or not, because the Wounded Ancients, that's easy. You only need one thing from them. You need like a splinter or something, and it's not 100% drop rate, but within killing 3 or 4, you should find it. Okay, so not worried about that. It's killing the flame elementals, and they appear to be like pretty decent amount of them. But just copper. I'm not going to go off range here. We got to go up this little path, if you remember. Little tiny path around to the top, and then we can kill Gerenzo. This is the highest level quest in the zone, I believe. Look at our spreadsheet again. No, it's not. Technically, the Wounded Ancients are technically higher. This is right up there. Of actual kill quests, well, for Alliance. For Horde, the Den, the Ordanis, all that stuff is tougher than this. Someone's coming out there right now, and it's a troll. So, let's see if I can troll said troll by going in there and... Now, if I'm too crazy with my rushing, it's not gonna work. I almost tried to jump and I would have screwed myself over. Alright. So I'm just gonna fight, naturally. Because now, I don't know what he's doing. But I'm kind of in a screwed situation here where... Now he's 26 compared to my... Oh, no, we're both high level. Oh, there's Tim up there. That's on the way out. He just killed Gerenzo, so now I'll go get the tin. He just did the job that was needed. And look, there is a human mage here too. So now I'll get the tin. Now I have to wait for Gerenzo to spawn. That's annoying. He might be waiting. The human mage might have killed it. So we came at a bad time. Not auspicious for overall efforts. We came here and it's a freaking Disneyland. So we're stuck. I don't need these guys. They're worth nothing for me. Worth no XP. But at least we get some tin. These guys respawn so fast. Maybe Gerenzo will respawn fast too. Here's another dude. I don't even see the troll right now. Maybe he barthed out or used troll magic to pour it out. I don't know. Actually, I don't think you get that. Yeah, you do. You get it. You have it. Okay, so also, like I mentioned, there is that little vendor there, so we go check that guy out. We're waiting to see where there's Gerenzo. His dead body's there now. That doesn't necessarily mean he can't respawn. And Gerenzo does sometimes come here. But there is the... just a vendor. There is a cell, a vendor right here. We should take care. We should take that too. Take the opportunity to sell because.
Oh, do I have a deal for you?
There might be a little bit of time. See, these are some decent greens. Nothing for us as a male user. I don't know what that guy's waiting for. Maybe he's waiting for Gerenzo. The troll mage is gone, so he must have been the one to kill Gerenzo, so he doesn't need it anymore. Now we're just patrolling, hoping Gerenzo respawns. He doesn't normally respawn at the higher levels, so if we just kind of keep this catwalk clear. There's a guy right there. So he's attacking the little robot, this little mage. I guess we'll ask him if you need Gerenzo. Because then we will... Then I might as well invite him so we're not fighting about it. Because we need Gerenzo too. I don't need any food from Homeboy. So now, at least, this one's Alliance. So... I'll say things, but I don't really need it. I'm not interested in their fake food. I don't want your fake food. What was he, 25? I think once upon a time I had some characters that were in the Knights of Stormwind, but they were... It's on my wife and I's account, I think our little characters were in that, and she, her and I just, we would only play like once a week, and I think we were basically, I was using that like another pilot run before I switched over, and so we had a Horde and Alliance, and sometimes that would mean that we would take, because we would only play once or twice a week. That meant that sometimes we would only play, we would take like a month off. Oh no! Alright. I freaking died! Okay. So, that was completely idiotic. I walked off, didn't even die from that, and then walked off without healing, no bubble, nothing, just freaking died. Complete idiocy. Well, if he respawns when he's back there, he can kill him on his own, I guess, and we'll still get to loot the body. That was one of the just blooper reel highlight dumbest things I've ever done. Just complete idiocy. Well, he got a flask of oil, so I can at least see what he's looting, so I'll be able to tell if he gets Gerenzo or not. If we're close enough, like I said, we'll get to loot the body. I can't believe I did that. Stupid. I mean, he could be a jerk and, like, boot me. Since I'm freaking useless. Jeez Louise. Looks like Gerenzo has a little bit of an annoying spawn time because I don't see him. Alright, at least I'm in the neighborhood now. I mean, I was already going to have to walk around and do this part anyway. So, actually running on the water maybe is a little faster. Yeah, because I was going to have to swim. So, this is costing me a little bit of time. Of course, it cost me. It's going to end up costing me a few silver for being a frickin' ding-dong. I don't even know how that happens. Me too, TWO. Let's group up. Man. Sometimes it's shocking. My wife, it's just the different things. I guess it shouldn't really matter, but it is just little things where I can be a little bit of an elitist prick, where I think, like we went to when we were ziplining on the vacation, we did one of those mountain zipline excursion things throughout the mountains and forest, and my wife said she bought a drink that was $2.50 and she paid in cash, $10 bill, and the girl had to use a calculator. Are you kidding me? I can't freaking... Oh my gosh. Okay. So, not only that, I walked all the way up there, and I couldn't reach my body to res from when I was up there. So, I wasted all that time anyway. So this was definitely idiocy of the most epic proportions. Wasting time. This is how these episodes will last a billion years. Because now this part has taken us. Yeah, it's tough. You know, it's like at some point I'm pot committed because we're getting deeper and deeper to let less and less content happen on the next episode. But because all we have left is the 2 quests and then running around and turning it in. So then it's like, do I make a whole episode where all we do is get the fire elementals? But then what if we get stuck hunting those fire embers for like an hour? So it's the pressure also of real life and everything happening in the background is... I just gotta unclench and let go. Just didn't shake out the way that I wasn't optimal. And sometimes it will be, right? You know, that's how life works. Sometimes you get an optimal shakeout. Okay. So, I don't know where Gerenzo is. I mean, for all I know, we wouldn't have even... Gerenzo wouldn't have respawned in all this time anyway. For all I know. Or maybe he did and he ran from Gerenzo. I don't freaking know. So I did have a moment with my feral druid last night where I was, I mean, I don't see Gerenzo. So either he never spawned, or... oh, he did. He spawned right next to the vendor. That's annoying. Okay. Alright, so... This is a stun for 4 seconds, so that's it. We're just waiting for that to happen. I mean, he's hitting me with it. I personally wouldn't use Frost when there's only 2. Alright, so we got his little head. We can repair it. Only costs us 4 silver, which we immediately made back with the hatchet. Alright, so we can get out of here. Alright, so this time we were successful. We can leave this party now. Alright, so now we can go turn in all of these things. I think he slow-falled. I mean, I guess that's one of the perks of being a mage. That and bling. I mean, there's a lot of perks of being a mage. But anyway, yeah, I was in the Knights of Stormwind, but we got booted. I think it was on our Gnome Alliance characters, my little Gnomish Warlock and Gnomish Rogue, and we're around level 40. But we haven't played that much lately. We actually took a little break. I might get back into it. I've just been, you know, like I talked about the other day about my conundrum about... I'm really on the... I don't know what I'm going to do about this retail, because I have other games I'm enjoying in my life. So I have this show where I'm already spending hours a day prepping and doing the show. So whatever you see, I probably spend that much time also prepping, maybe a little bit more. So if we make a 2-hour episode, I probably have already used 4 to 5 hours of my day working on this show. So that's time consuming. That's a lot. And this is, you know, a hobby. This is not, at this stage in time, this is not how I'm making any money or having this get paid. And that would be awesome. My hobby could become a source of income for me, but I'm not there yet. Then I have been playing a little bit of Tears of the Kingdom, and I've been talking about that for a while, so I try to play that a little bit. I really don't play a ton, but maybe 30 minutes a day. Depends. Some days less, some days more. Most days less. But I'll play a little bit. I'll do find a couple Korok seeds, something like that.
Look at that thing. It'd take a gnome to come up with something like
Actually,
that. I can't.
Before he says that, he says,
Hey, how you doing?
"What a valve who wants some proof that Gerenzo's dead. I think his mechanical arm will probably do."
Look at that thing. It'd take a gnome to come up with something like that. I can't understand why you'd cut off an arm and replace it with that when you could just keep both arms and add a third. Gnomes, I tell you. At least Gerenzo's out of commission. Hopefully that'll be enough proof, and Sputtervalve will assign me to one of the Tinkers Union workshops in Gadgetsan, or maybe even Undermine.
Alright, so this Engineer's Cloak is actually a slight upgrade over Fenris's Hide. It gives us 3 extra stamina, which is nice. We would lose the 4 agility, though, and trade it in for 2 intellect. So overall, we gain 1 point in stats. But intellect, agility is not as important. It's important because of the crit chance, but it's not as important as some of the others. Like for instance, our shaman agility is very important. We need those crits so that we can get the flurry. All a crit is for us is a big hit. And whereas the intelligence gives us a little bit more mana with which to play with, and the stamina gives us a little bit more life, so really not too shabby. It's really not a big deal. We're gonna leave it in the dust eventually anyway. All right, so here's Alpha and Beta.
Alrighty then.
Did you get the plans, Contessa? I don't think we can read those. Yeah, they're sealed.
Truly amazing. This is a huge blow to the venture company. We'll be able to find weaknesses in their machines and also incorporate their designs into our own creations. This is a wonderful day indeed.
How did it go, Contessa?
Incredible, adventurer. Kaela and the Sentinels will be so happy. With your skill and my creations, we're unstoppable. Adventurer? Take these letters to Kaela. I'm sure she'll want to know about this, or at least the Sentinels will. Make sure you tell her how successful we were and how we couldn't have done it without a little bit of magic.
Okay, so again, he gives us the letters now to walk right over and give to her.
How may I help?
Yes, Contessa, what can I do for you?
This is interesting indeed. You and Gaxim have done very well, adventurer. Thank you.
Okay, now, she will give us 2. Now we can actually help the Charred Vale.
I'm unsure what the venture company
Hopefully that
did to
dude's
the
not going
Vale,
over there.
but it's obvious they were overpowered by the creatures there. They set the forest aflame and used their inventions of destruction to decimate as much of the Vale as possible. But in their ignorance, they also released something else. Burning spirits, elementals of flame, stone and rage. The land has no chance to see a loon smile while these creatures roam free. Bring me their smoldering embers to show you've reduced their numbers. It seems obvious to me that the protectors of the Vale, the Treants, had something to do with the venture company being driven back. Unfortunately, even those once great guardians have now become corrupt. Gaxim thinks their corruption is somehow linked to the weapons the goblins used during their retreat. I told him I'd collect a sample from a wounded Trent and allow him to study it in order to figure out if that's true. Bring me some of the shrapnel so the gnome can tell me more.
Okay, so what do we have going on here? First of all, let's deal with the quest. We turned in Gerenzo Wrenchwhistle. Still need a few more. Okay, and then we came up here. We're walking over to the Charred Vale now for the last set of quests. Hopefully we're not going to be fighting that mage. Okay, so then we picked up, we turned in the Covert Ops Alpha, Beta, and Kaela's update. Okay, so let's pick these up. So we turned in, picked up, turned in. Okay. So far, so good. Quest is wrapping up nicely. Again, we're actually going to need a pinch more. Now I'm crazy. Now that's too much. Okay. It's shooting me with its venom. Fine. We're heading up to the Charred Vale. We can't take the shortcut as Alliance. That's the woes of our life. Okay, so she then gives us Enraged Spirits. Okay. And she gives us the Wounded Ancients. These are the last 2 actual quests in the zone that we need to complete. Which is why I'm really pressing, even though time now, we're at about an hour and 45. So we are, unless we have the most amazing luck, we're already screwed. We could most likely have another 1-hour episode come out of this right now. But I'm determined. So we have to get the corroded shrapnel. Now, what did we learn here is, I wasn't aware of this. I knew the Charred Vale was kind of destroyed, but I'm just now making the connection that the Venture Code destroyed the Charred Vale. I don't know how I haven't made this connection before, but it sounds like they destroyed that, were driven out, or left it after they jacked the land, and were driven out by maybe the enraged spirits of the land itself and the harpies and all that stuff. Maybe they were driven out by the Horde or people in the area, the Druids. Oh, that rare was killed. And now they've moved on to this crag, where they're also decimating it and repeating their bad behavior. So, it seems like that's the pattern that we're trying. There's a fire elemental, so at least someone doesn't appear at first blush to be out here crushing. Alright, so now we need 8 embers. The terrible thing on this one is that we, the drop rate's not 100%. Okay, we got one there. Maybe we will get lucky. There's that dude killing the basilisks, which we already killed. We don't need that. We just need... And I see a freaking ember, so he's not there. I really don't want to compete with him for the embers. Gosh. Sucks. So now he's heading into the Vale, and we're going to be competing. I don't want to join up because it's just going to ruin our drop rate. We need the Ancients. I just need the Fire Elementals. So that is completely lame. So now we're going to be competing with this mage for fire. He looks like he needs other stuff too, so hopefully he'll get caught up killing the harpies and all that stuff. Let's find out. Or he's... Yeah, see, he needs to kill harpies. So let him kill him. I just need fire elementals. So that is perhaps the one small edge. It looks like he did it smart. He saved his... I did not get one that time. It looks like he did it the smartest and saved the Vale for all one go, which is probably what we should have done. Then we could have included this last little part in there too. So if you're really doing this on your own, maybe do the entire Venture Co thing first. He parried my, oh no, just must have parried it. No, they're going for the freaking fire elemental.
I need to get closer.
So I did not get it from there. So he'll get distracted if he really needs to kill all these things, though, is the only hope that I can have. There are a bunch of these Enraged Spirits here. So... these are the ones... I mean, the drop rate's just not very good, though. There you go. So we've killed 3. Yep, now he's going for him, so he's on this competition streak. That's 2 less elementals we could have had because of that guy. Ruining our... And we have killed a total of 4 for 1 drop. And this is the nature of the suckiness of this quest. So again, he can go and kill his basilisks. He needs it all. We just need the fire elementals. And we are coming up on the 2-hour mark of this show. So, with the traveling added in, this is going to be a doozy of an episode. Again, and also I mentioned the Wounded Ancients or whatever. I'm not worried about them. Don't want that basilisk. We're just going to straight up ignore it. Don't really care. I only want the fire. Okay, we got our second ember. Good for us. Now it does say that in here... Oh, cool. There's an ancient. Okay, this basilisk is being a jerk. Oh, okay, he ran off. Basilisk ran off. Alright, so this Charred ancient could give us what we need. Hard to say. It did. So now we no longer need that. I told you that part was not what we should worry about. Believe me, I have done this so many times. I know the pain, if we're going to have it, is going to come from these elementals. So we are already 2 out of 6. That's good. And all we can do is hope it improves from there. Nothing. We got nothing from that. No loot. Now, as you get deeper and deeper in, there are plenty of places to fight these, and we are a little higher. That person's 25. We'll have a little bit of an easier time walking around the Vale than they will, and like I said also before, they appear to have a lot of... They probably still have all the quests. This is a Rogue Flame Spirit. I think this is the next tier. That's a Burning Ravager. That's an even further tier down. I don't know if the drop rate is better or worse based on the tiers. It's pretty crap for all of it, really. Okay. But maybe we live in a world where these Ravagers are a little bit better.
It's too far away.
Oh great, I pulled the Chimera too. It's doing pretty badly with it. I think that's the first time I pulled the freaking Chimera. I'm gonna do this smart where I don't back myself into... Okay, did not get it. What I need. Just want him to stop shooting me, that'd be cool. He's not. I think if I kind of let him be for a little while, he will eventually come off it. There we go. He's done. So it took a little bit of effort, but with single-minded focus, if we just ignore these distractions. Come on. When you get parried, Okay, cool. It is when you're a big two-hander. It's annoying. I wish these Earth Elementals, she even mentioned them, but for some reason, they are not interested in any Earth Elemental rage. Because that would be great in terms of getting stuff for the drop. Alright, so we're at 3 out of 8. And as you can see now, it's starting to dry up a little bit. There's the big guys. These are the worst. The Burning Destroyers. These are the heavy hitters. So maybe the drop rate's better? I don't know. It could be worse. Sometimes it's the opposite of what you think. Although the drop rate seemed to be better for the basilisks and things that more heavy. Okay, we got a 4th. I'll take that. Okay. It's also this is a quest where doing this with 2 people, terrible idea. Don't do it. Okay, he did not give me one, so we are halfway done though. So we are making progress. Come on, continue to smile favorably upon us. Oh, RNG algorithms. Good, we got 5. Nice. And we got lucky with that Wounded Ancient where we got it on the first go. I like to hide back here, this back southern half of the valley, because I just feel like these guys are a little bit better with the drop rate. There's also a nice cluster along the wall back here. So, just my own personal preference. I might be wrong. Kind of is a little bit easier, I think, to thread the needle too, where you're not. Oh, we got an elemental fire. That's nice. We could use that probably in some of our blacksmithing recipes. There's another one. Still need 3. Still not out of the woods yet. Literally and figuratively, the literal burnt woods we're not out of. See a guy over there too. One there, so we have 2 more right in our sights. Hitting us with these fire. Okay. Nothing for that guy. Jerk. Just a straight jerk. Alright, so we're going to go for this Ravager, then I'm going to cut back over to that other one. Now remember when we did this before, when we were doing the Basilisks, we were spending so much time walking back and forth, so I really hope there's a couple more. Again, behind us there are some, but I want to go after those couple up there. 2 is better than 1, right? Or is it like, there we go, we got 6, or is it bird in the hand, 2 in the bush mentality? Well, nothing was in hand. There's that mage. So, fighting harpies. That's cool. Look at all these chimeras. There's a trio of them. Okay. They've got to get out of their path. Dang it. Okay, did not get one there. Fine. And maybe, hopefully, this guy will also underestimate me. Not that I'm any good at this game, but maybe they'll think I'm a complete suckfest at the game. Since he saw me being a complete idiot. I mean, I guess in a way I am a complete suckfest at the game. We only need 2 more. Come on. Come on, RNG. Stay with us. Smile upon us. Shine your holy numerical code light of 0s and 1s. Loot tables and... Shoot me with the fireball. Come on, there's no... won't chase me down. Nice, the upgraded single command is quite nice. Oh, that could have been number 7. Come on. Alright. 2 to go. Now we're going to start working our way up to the mid-tiers. We've exhausted, I think, all of the best elementals. Now we're going to go up to the mid-tiers, which were... I don't know, not destroyers, maybe ravagers or something. I don't know. The burning destroyers are what we just basically cleared the Vale of. And there are some mid-tier elementals. What's that? Mithril. Outside of our pay grade. It looks like there's supposedly some potential spawn. There's one. That's a burning ravager. So yeah, the ravagers are the mid-tier. Probably mid-tier drop rate as well, but it doesn't matter. All we have to do is get lucky twice. And destroyers. And maybe the ones in the valley have respawn. But again, I think these things kind of share a spawn node, as I mentioned before. Yes! Alright, we're down to the last one. And there's that Blood Fury Ripper that only the Horde have to kill. We didn't have to do that. I wish that we would have had to kill that Ripper instead of traveling to Feralus. Oof. Alright, so we're keeping our eyes peeled. We need one more Ember. And I'm thinking our Fire Elementals may... Look, I just saw blue over there. Yeah, I was going to say, I think they're probably respawned. Now these Rogue Flame Spirits are the weakest. Lowest drop rate. But maybe again, we just need to get lucky once. Then we're good. Don't want to fight the Blood Fury Harpies. See if this one that spawns back in here has respawned. Maybe, maybe not. He did? Okay, that's good. That means that whole path into the valley will be respawned. Alright, so we are basically in the quest turn-in phase. As soon as I get this last one, we are right at the 2-hour mark. We've made this episode go quite long, but that is what it is. Got it, baby. Alright, babies out there, my beautiful little babies. So now we're at the quest turn-in and burn, where we'll be done. If I was doing a regular achievement or retail run, I would make sure to get that right there too, but I'm in a rush. It's not worth the 100 XP for me right now. Okay, so we're going to turn these two in, and then I guess the fastest thing would... I mean, it's really tough, because it's a long behind walk up to Stonetalon, and then the flight's pretty long to Astronar. So if I'm going to do that, I might as well just do the long behind walk. Not worry about the flight. So we'll walk up to Astronar, which will then further send us into Darnassus. So we'll have to do a little bit of a flight, not that long of one. Turn that in. Then we will have to fly back to Ratchet from Darnassus. And then walk all the way down, get off of the Great Lift, and walk over to Feralus, and that will be how we end this episode. When that is all said and done, we will use our Hearthstone and log. So that's what we have in store for us. Some quest turn-ins and a whole heck of a lot of flight path travel. So it took some doing. It took a mega double-length episode to accomplish it. But especially as we're retreading old ground, we did do all these quests in the past with Kaela, our human priest. So this content does exist in some form, just not quite the same. And we're still in that. So Red Ridge Mountains, we're still in that zone. We've done it as well. I think I've talked about this too. So Red Ridge is next. Duskwood is after that. I believe we did Duskwood. kind of feel like we did the Duskwood episodes, so that's still retreading content. Ashen Vale we did with Alliance and Horde, so that's going to be retreading content, so we still have, that's 3 zones. 4 if you count the fact that we have to do it for Alliance and Horde. Black Fathom Deeps will come in at the end of that as well for both factions, which we also did. Wetlands, I think, pretty sure we did that too. So that's 5, you could say. Now, Hillsbrad Foothills, we had just started that, but we really aborted a lot of it. So that was starting to get us, we mostly did it all for Horde. So that's 6. And Alliance, we also did it. I'd say we did, so that's 7. It was just very, very challenging. And then Thousand Needles we did as Horde, so that's 8. We never did it as Alliance, so when we do that as Alliance, that'll be finally the new content when we come and we do all of the Shimmering Flats, all that stuff. And a lot of the stuff at the end we didn't do. We weren't even close to that 39 threshold I was talking about. In that time after that, we'll do Razorfen, Crawl, and Nomergon, which we have done. And then Desolus will be our first entirely new zone. And that'll be followed by Razorfen Downs and the Scarlet Monastery, which we have done. We did half of the Scarlet Monastery. We did the Cathedral, no, not Cathedral, the Library and the Graveyard. And we never did Razorfen Downs. So that'll be all new content. So we still have a pretty decent amount, 10 zones, give or take, with a handful of dungeons in there. So we're probably looking at $1.5 to 2 months of the show. Look at these freaking multi-boxers. League of Professions. Yeah, so we're probably looking at about 1.5 to 2 months before we actually start hitting new content, which is whatever. That's not the end of the world, considering how long it took us to get there in the first place.
Hello. Del Nadris.
The first time I saw the Charred Vale, I almost wept, Glee Contestant.
The remains of our enemy. Your strength serves us well, adventurer. Thank you.
I have a feeling Gaxim will find a use for the shrapnel regardless of how the Venture Co. has used it in the past.
Thank you, adventurer. This should be more than sufficient for Gaxim to figure out how the Trents were corrupted. I shall give this to him right away. Adventurer, you have done a great deed by lending a hand here. The Sentinels of Ashen Vale will reward you well if you inform them that Gaxim and I are alive. Tell them we are well on our way to stopping the Venture Company and healing the lands. Find Tara Thenysil in Astronar. She will be pleased to see you've returned with good news.
All right, quite close to the end here. Where are we supposed to be turning in and reclaiming the Charred Vale? Oh, that's the one that takes us down to Fairless. Okay. All right, so we just turned in Enraged Spirits and Wounded Ancients. Cool. I'll go ahead and add that one there. It doesn't really, even though I turned it in the other order, it doesn't really matter. And then she then gave, so we can check those off. Enraged Spirits, Wounded Ancients, and she gave us this update quest. So we are so close. All right, so now we're doing the walk to Astronar. We will turn in the update for Sentinal Thenysil, which she will then give us a quest to Darnassus. So then we'll fly to Darnassus and turn that bad boy in. And then we will go to, then we'll fly back to Ratchet, which is a little bit of a doozy of a flight. Kind of annoyed about that. I'm not fishing. I'm not even going to look into it. We will, on the next episode, we'll do some transition. We'll do some traveling to Red Ridge, and we'll get that going tomorrow. So, I most likely the episodes will not be after a couple weeks from now. They won't be this long. I just won't be able to have the time, but it's the weekend right now, and it's not the end of the world. So I felt like, you know what, put it out there. I gotta stop stressing it, you know. I have nothing pressing today. Today and tomorrow is just the weekend, so I don't imagine after making such a doozy as this one is today that I will make a 2.5 hour one or whatever. This one probably end up being around 2.5. So that's quite a long episode. We've made episodes this long before. But normally it's tied to a long dungeon, like a Nomergon or something like that. I am not looking forward to doing that dungeon again. I will have to say, I mean, I haven't done all the dungeons in the game, in Classic, in a long time. I certainly haven't done them in the context of this show, but I've got to say Nomergon is my least favorite dungeon to do. It's gotten better for me because I've ran it so many freaking times now, especially as Horde. You can get quite, it's just that... There's just so much that's annoying about it. The Dark Iron needing to get the ring, and the fact that we're going to have to do that. I just can't even. You can run there, even with a non-stealth character. We will be powerful enough by the time we get there. Because we're going to do this, we're going to do it after 1,000 Needles, so we're going to be like around level 40 when we do Nomergon. So the power that we have is... It's going to be fine. The dungeon won't be necessarily the biggest challenge. It's just so, especially for Alliance, so many quests, so many things you have to keep track of. I don't even care. Like, we'll do whatever. We'll just do a run. But since we're doing every quest, that means we might have to do more than one run together. That's the actually for Sengus, but since we're Alliance, he's our ally. We're just getting punched here. I didn't want to bubble because I didn't get stunned, and like, I don't know. I think I have to go this way. Maybe I could. I didn't want to trust it. I know this will lead me up to the path. That one might have hit a ridge, and I don't want to get stuck and backtrack. I don't know what... This is a warlock. I don't know what the little power... It seemed like there was a little electricity that shot between them. But they are level, I guess, 21. I guess that's not crazy to do Ashenvale at that level. Compared to our 28, and we're not even starting it for a few more zones, so we are... I mean, I don't mind it, honestly. Some people are like, do you mind the fact that you'll be so over-leveled? Nah, that doesn't bother me. We're not, like, so over-leveled to where we're invincible. And I suck at the game, so it helps me, you know, it gives me a little bit of a, like, kind of breathing room or whatever. Alright, my goal is to come in at under 2.5, so we will see if we can do that. We would need to finish this within, let's see where we're at right now, actually. We're at 2:03 right now, so 2:04, so we got 26 minutes. Okay, so that means, so I started a little bit later than I thought. Because that'll give me 12, 14, so if we come in before 1:15 server time, we'll be in good shape. Which, it's all, there's no challenge left, it's all, there's no challenge, there's no drop, there's no RNG, it's just all a matter of traveling now. So we're going to give her update, she's going to send us on, and we're not even to the final step of our travel yet. Ugh, gross. I'm gonna let her talk it. I'm gonna let her talk and walk for us. Save time.
Thank you, adventurer. You've done a service to the Sentinels. I'm glad to see Kaela, and even Gaxim are doing well. You've earned our appreciation. Adventurer, I am sure Tyrande Whisperwind herself would like to thank you for taking part in this mission.
Well, yeah.
It may not appear so on the
Awesome.
surface, but what you've helped start could very well strengthen our foothold in the Stonetalon Mountains. If you consider yourself our ally against these atrocities, go see Tyrande in the Temple of the Moon in Darnassus.
Okay, I do consider myself your ally in the atrocities. So we updated Sentinel Thenysil, and we picked up the final quest in the game, which is the reception from Tyrande, which we're going to go turn in right now. So we can already map this out. These will be gone, because the only other thing we need to turn in is the Reclaiming the Charred Vale Part 2. That'll be our last turn in. Okay, so the spreadsheet's done for this episode. So now we have this flight, which fly up Darkshore, fly across the sea, land in Ruthven Village, take the portal, come in, go into the temple, talk to her. But then we have to walk out and fly back to Ratchet. Ugh, this little quest right here, that is what's piece of... And I don't see a faster way out of it. Because walking through Feralis via Desolus, no, that's going to take longer than it would to fly. Even if we were there, had we done that in the first, and then we would have to fly back here. So either way, we're kind of screwed. All right, so we're doing the Darkshore portion of the flight. We've helped Stonetalon though. We've basically capped that zone off. Yeah. So on tomorrow's episode, again, we'll pick up the Retrieval for Mauren. I mean, speaking of Fortitude, I mean. And then we'll go up and talk with that. That's basically going to send us to get some ore, something about writing a book or something like that. And the Watchful Eye is the beginning of the Red Ridge quest. I think we can do Red Ridge in maybe 3 episodes, because there's a ton of quests here. But the beginnings are all pretty easy. Kill random mobs, kill murlocs, mess around in the lake a bit, kill a few orcs and gnolls. Then there is... I mean... If we're going to have episodes this long, we could do it in probably two goes. There's a few where we kill some orcs up here and we rescue Corporal Keishan. Then there's a few gnoll killing quests, and there's all the elites. Down here is not a lot. There's not a lot that actually happens in this quadrant of the map. But yeah, there's killing elite orcs, killing gnolls, and a couple little 2-3 towers and keeps we've got to explore. So the goal for us will be to get as much done as we can so that we can collect all of those elites and bust them out with a group all at the same time. But we're powerful enough at level 28. By that time we'll be level 29. At level 29 we're powerful enough that we can hit probably just with a single partner. Probably handle it. Someone says, does Jake Paul fight tonight? I can't get into it. Sorry, guys. I'm not the biggest MMA or boxing or whatever fan out there. I do like it when I watch it. It's enjoyable. I would never pay, back in the days when there was pay-per-view for that kind of thing. Never. If it was on at like a bar or a friend's house, in the background, I'd watch it. And particularly maybe if the conversation wasn't good, I could see myself... I mean, I'll watch anything, any kind of sport. I'm a fan of all sport, so I'll watch golf, baseball, whatever in that type of situation. I just don't actively seek it out. I will actively seek out watching football, basketball, sometimes soccer, every once in a while hockey. Those are my favorite sports, but because those are all of the ones that I played at some point in my life. I also like tennis. I played tennis and swimming, but Tennis is fun to watch too, but I don't ever seek it out. But I will, like, if it's a tournament or something on TV, like Wimbledon, that just recently happened, or like when the Olympics has it on, I do enjoy it. It's fun to watch, but that's more fun to play for me. I guess that's true for most sports, are more fun to play than watch. But it's cool to see people do it at a high level. Alright, so we're in Tyrande. We've talked to her a couple times, especially when we were busting out all the Night Elf quests. Hopefully this really ingratiates the Night Elves even further to our cause. We are already honored. We're not even honored with the gnomes yet. Those little buttholes. I don't really know how you're supposed to get exalted with them. In retail, it's easy. You can be. We'd probably be exalted already. But they're really miserly with the reputation in retail. All right, Tyrande.
Hello, adventurer.
Hi.
I have indeed heard your name before, and although you are still full of youth, I am pleased to see the path you have set for yourself. You would do me a great honor if you would accept this as a gift of appreciation.
Thanks, Tyrande. So she gave us a ring and our choice of armor. However, since we just spent almost 2 gold by building ourselves that dope armor, that dope shining silver breastplate, the armor she had to offer would have been a slight upgrade over the one we had before. Very slight. We did get some pants, 160. They're not as good as the pants we already have because we are wearing the chassies of Westfall. So the hulking leggings that dropped while fighting. Now this ring is a 3 stamina, 4 spirit. Also crap. Not as good as either ring that we have. Alright. So, we can sell those things. I don't even care. We'll sell them when we get to Stormwind. Now comes... I mean, what would be faster? Would it be faster to fly to Ratchet? Or to fly to Booty Bay? Yeah, then we'd have to take the boat. I think it will still be a pinch faster to fly to Ratchet. Because we've got to fly to Ratchet and walk. There's no way around this. We have to do it. And... so we're getting close. We're now working towards our final destination. There are 2 legs of this journey. We are at about 18 minutes away from the 2.5 hour mark, which was my goal to be under that. That wasn't my initial goal. My initial goal was to be on around an hour and a half, maybe a little more.
To maintain our link to the mainland, we have hippogriffs constantly.
Okay, it's not expensive to fly to Ratchet. It's just a long distance. So I think there's like a mod that can let you know exactly the time it takes to get there. So yeah, I told you the other day how I was working through Desolus. I did finally finish completely with Horde. I did the entire journey where I converted over, completed the Magkar line, and then fully completed the Gelkis line. Like I said, it took about 2.5 hours of a grind. I'm going to confirm how long that takes with maybe a little bit less than 2.5 hours, because I ultimately had to get 7,000 rep back. Now this is not as a human. For Glee Contessa, we can take off 10%, and I'm gonna do it with a human today, so I'll be able to kind of clock how it is with my human mage. Will that translate to the overall DPS? Will Glee Contessa be level 41, because that's gonna help the killing? My Horde was level 40 when I started and was level 41 by the end. So, and I feel like with my Horde, with my Feral Druid, it's more similar to what we have here with Glee Contessa because we are a melee DPS. However, I feel like Feral Druids are a little faster with that DPS, and Druids just have no downtime when it comes to PvE mobs. We've talked about that on previous episodes where we ranked what was the best for PvE downtime, blah blah blah. But when I did the end, Khan Harafa is a level 42 elite with 3 mobs. He comes in waves. You first have to kill 2 melee mobs That's fine. Anybody can probably handle that, especially if you're trying to go for a 42 elite. Wave 2 is the same 2 mobs accompanied by a healer. I can solo that situation too. They're around 38-ish, level 38, give or take. And again, this is a level 42 quest, so 38, 39, that ballpark. Then the final wave is the same 2 melee with the healer and the level 42 elite. So handling that situation, the only thing you have going for you is the time in which it takes for the mobs, once you engage them in combat or not, they stay there for around 10 minutes. If you kill one, they don't respawn. So with that time you have 10 to 15 minutes, you have time to, well, you could hypothetically focus, kill, die, focus, kill, die. You have time enough to do that if you wanted to. If you can focus, kill down one before dying, you can make that work, but you do have to be able to defeat the level 42 elite on your own. On Wowhead, there's a rogue that maybe a combat rogue that has a disarm. I guess all rogues have that. And supposedly with a disarm move, he's a piece of cake, which means that warriors, I believe they have a disarm also, or they do in retail. I can't remember if they have one. I think they do. So that means a disarm would be pretty good. So a warrior should be able to. So rogue or warrior should have no problem. I think I'll be okay. You don't have a lot of room to kite, but I think as a mage I'll be okay with kiting. But he hits pretty dang hard. As a feral druid, not a tank mode, he hits so hard. It's very hard for me to. I just don't have the armor, and he has a lot of armor. So as a melee DPS, without those moves for disarm, he just hits so hard. And he hits you with a wound move. He has a mortal strike like arms warriors have. He's essentially an arms warrior that you're fighting. So he constantly hits you with that mortal strike, which reduces. So you've really got to be careful about when and how you're doing your healing, because he's constantly taking you out. So it's hard for me. It's too much stress for me to try to solo that one. So I'm gonna try it with my mage today. Let you know how it goes tomorrow. But I ended up recruiting help. So the first time I had someone that was doing the quest at the same time, we paired out, and they were a shaman, I believe, and I don't know if they weren't good. They didn't seem to be contributing a ton. I don't know. And that could just be the way the fight was set up. I was dying too fast. Maybe I'm the one that sucked. Probably. That's a pretty common theme in how I play, as it turns out, surprise, pointing the finger at me. I'm the one that sucks, as you saw in today's episode, where I'm just throwing myself off of scaffolds and wasting a bunch of time. Add 5 to 10 minutes on today's episode because of my boneheadedness. We could have been closer to that 2-hour mark I wanted. Also, we could have done the Charred Vale in one swoop had I done all of the Venture Co stuff first. I just didn't know enough about how that was going to shake out. But we ended up pulling it off. It took 1 or 2 wipes, maybe just 1, but we did it. I think we actually I think it was 2. I think we managed to kill 1 mob, the healer, wiped. Came back, we managed to kill both the ads, the other remaining ads, got him down to him, but by then our resources were kind of tapped, we wiped. Made it back for round 3, and we beat him, but it was a challenge. Alright, so now we've just hit Ajara flight path, so we are on the final shot down the river by Durotar to Ratchet. Final part of the flying. And there is hope that we can still hit my goal. There's hope. It's just, now it's the run. Once we get there, we've got to run on our little feet down to the lift, get off, and then come over. This part of the run's not too bad. I'm not as worried. But oh goodness. You can get on the lift too as Alliance. You don't have to worry that even though it's like those horde mobs, they don't really attack you. Anyway, so the second time, I level 43 arms / prot warrior. Don't know how that worked out, but he said he could be arms or tank. I don't know how he worked out. I kind of think he was more tanky when we played, and I ran because he saw that I was going feral, but I had cleared it. I got the horn. That's another part. It's very grindy. You gotta get this horn mouthpiece. So I asked. Then I said, hey, I got the horn. I asked him if he had done it, because this is my second time doing it, and he said he was familiar with it. So we did the waves, and when we are like finishing off the second wave or halfway through the second wave, he's like, oh wow, your DPS is really good. So I don't know, made me feel pretty good. I don't always get a good compliment like that, but so either feral druids when properly spec'd or OP. Why does this thing fly so slow? That could be it. I'm not even geared super well. I do have the manual crowd pummeler, which I wasn't activating, but I still use it. I've got like 2 or 3 blues, maybe 3 or 4. Let's just say 3 on the safe side, and maybe it's up that. But I think like mostly rings. So, you know, I've got a couple, maybe a pant, like one other piece of armor is blue, and then I've got the crowd control pummeler, but other than that, just regular old green gear. So I guess my spec is pretty good. Now I am pretty far down the tree on that one, where I'm finishing up Mark of the Wild right now. And then you get one thing at the end, maybe aspect of the pack, something like that, to help everybody on the teams grid out. But it was a nice moment where to inspire someone to say, wow, your DPS is really good. And they were a couple levels higher than me. So that was pretty nice. Alright, so now we're on the real final stretch of this episode, where we have to run down the Barrens, get on the lift, pinch through Stonetalon, and wind up in Feralis for the finale turn-in. I don't think we actually looked at the spreadsheet again. No, we did. I forgot. We finished off. I even said the spreadsheet's done for this episode. We did finish Stonetalon in 2 days, so I don't know that we've ever done that, where we've actually busted out an entire zone in 2 episodes. So they were 2 doozies, but if we were to keep that rate up, finishing up zones in 2 to 3 episodes at a time, well, then we would be done in under a year. I just can't foresee that happening for a couple reasons, because we just do the math. At some point I'm going to catch up if I were to do that, and once the busy season, once I have to start going into the office for, 40, 50 hours a week again, once I hit that time of year again, I get home, I've got in my window, I have maybe 8 hours of life that is not work, or sleep. So if I were to put, I have to match the amount of time I'm putting in this show, or I'll blow past where we're at, and I won't get a chance to make dry runs. So now I think I'm not going to do any dry runs when I am on retail. I haven't decided what I'm going to do with that, because I've just done that so many times. Oh, my daughter just sent me a text where there is a little store, a bar, I think. She was talking to me about this the other day. And it's like a bar where you can essentially you pay a fee, $15-20, something like that, and then they give you a miniature, and you can paint your little tabletop miniature, and drink while you do it. So that's cool. I like the idea. I mean, that's all I have to really say about it. It's cool. Like it's my kind of thing. Like I could see myself doing that. I have done that in my life, in real life, like just not paying for it, just going over a friend's house and having a couple beers and painting miniatures. In my college days, when I was never really into Warhammer 40k. I played some. What I was really into was that experience. I had a buddy that his name was Eddie. Eddie, if you're ever out there and you ever happen to stumble upon this, what's up, man? I still remember you fondly. Eddie was a dude I used to hang out with a lot in college. Younger than me. He was probably, we hung out for over the course of a few years, and when we met, he was probably somewhere in the ballpark of around 18, 19 years old, and I was probably 22, somewhere around there. 21, 22. So there was a dynamic, slightly like a big brother, little brother dynamic to a certain extent, and we worked together is how we met. We were both Blockbuster video tape slingers and DVD slingers back in the day. And he lived at home with his mom, and I would go hang out sometimes, and it was, I used to walk everywhere when I lived in the city, walk or bus everywhere, and so sometimes I would go and have some beers and paint miniatures. He was really into it. Don't remember if he had a friend that had it. Kind of think he got a lot of stuff discounted, either because he had a friend that worked there or he was a fan of the 5-finger discount. I don't remember it. This is a long time ago. And I'd get some myself, and that's it. We would just paint, but we got really, really into it. Like when I look at some of the ones, I still have a small collection of the metal ones that I had from back in the day, the metal figures, and some are primed, some are naked, some are painted, and it was really good. I mean, I wasn't amazing, not professional quality. I have a buddy, and I mentioned him on the show before. If he has a Patreon, I'm going to link it with mine. If not, when I start my social media, I'll link some of his stuff. If any of you guys are into tabletop gaming, he makes some really good stuff, and we've painted together a few times, and he's pretty good. He's more of the type of person. I don't think he wants to commission his work, but I know he does. He dreams of a world in which he could just do that in much the same way I dream of a world where this could be my life. I would do this freaking 8 hours a day if that's if that would somehow lead me in a path to money, but I don't think you guys want 8 hours of content a day. And and again, like I said, cut off some of that's work and discussion, some of it's production time. So if I spent more time, if someone was like, you know what, we're gonna just give you 50 grand a year or whatever, not like nothing to really write home about, but enough to where I could very minimally supplement my work with some other stuff, but I could at least not worry about the bills getting paid. That'd piss my wife off, but what is that guy? Ooh, Thunderstomp. He's a rare, and he's walking right up on. Oh, that's the Alliance rares. I don't remember if I fought Thunderstomp before. He looks cool. He's like a green Stegosaurus-looking dude. I just want to fight him just for funsies. I mean, as a level 24 rare, his milkshake's not bringing all the boys to the yard, but I like that we can walk by this pack with impunity. It's kind of fun. I always think it's weird too that the mobs in the game like are immune to each other. So for some reason, for instance, those guys right there, that Aeon, Swift Rider and all that, they can just walk by here and these things won't attack them. I don't understand how that works. Or when I'm out there fighting... This came into my head when I've been grinding the Centaur for days and days. I'm out there like killing 1,000 Magrum Centaur or whatever it is. And they're just patrolling around, spawning around, and there's just whatever the Deathless version of the Storms nowadays, just walking around them. They don't care. So I guess they're really at one with nature. It's a good thing I was a little bit off on time because this would have been my 2 hours and 30 minutes right now. So, I think let's see where we're at with the time. Nope, that was the time. So my goal was come in under 2:30 and we're not quite there because we haven't hit we're close. This is going to be like 2:35. This is going to be really, really knocking on the door as longest episode ever. But such is life. C'est la vie. I just couldn't leave myself with an episode where I was like, this is what we did on the next episode. I just didn't want to do it. Wanted to have this done. I was already kind of in my head thinking that the zone would be done. But yes, and if you think about it, and we cut this in half, this would have been 2 1 hour and 15 minute episodes. 2 1 hour and 18, which that's actually a little shorter than what I want to go for right now. So we just were in a weird spot where it wasn't quite enough content for 2 episodes. But it was probably way too much content for 1. So, just a tough spot for us. Hopefully it doesn't happen too much. In the past, I have deferred to always cutting it if we get into this situation and making a shorty episode instead. And now we're balancing the universe. Let's think of it like that. We're now balancing the universe and making it a little longer instead. So this is 1,000 Needles. Very little for us to do here as Alliance members. We will one day fly back to this part of Fairless so that we can hit the Shimmering Flats, but not for a while. So we are now in the final leg of the final stretch of the final march of the zone. Still doing our last run. We just need to run through 1,000 Needles. Now, 1,000 Needles is a zone that's best done when you are around level 30. If you're doing this part, you could probably get away coming in here at around 25. Although it's going to be tough. As you see, just the random padding mobs are 27, 28. So, in my opinion, you shouldn't really try to tackle 1,000 Needles until you're around level 30. There are some quests right now. There are some quests that are lower. Let's see those NPCs are around level 30. There are some quests. The beginning ones in the zone are lower. There's the Gallic Messenger. He drops a horde drop quest that we will be doing when we come here. We've done it on this show before because we did it with Varrock. Shout out to old Varrock, RIP buddy, for not using you anymore. Varrock is the, he'll always have a special place in my heart because Varrock is the one time I was ever recognized in-game by a viewer who would know, because the cool thing is when I'm doing a record, the good thing about the 9 characters thing that we boarded was I would spend a lot of time with those characters that were kind of the famous ones we use, like here I use Gleek and Tess and Gleek and Soul. But I would spend a fair amount of time moving about in the world with them because their content would overlap. So if I was covering this with someone else too, my rogue or whoever, then Varrock would have to then solo that content on his own off camera. Which is part of why that was taking... It was starting to consume way too much time. Now that's not happening because my dry run characters don't ever come on camera, and my non-dry run characters are always on camera, so we're always with it together, and I do like that more, but it takes out that opportunity for every now and then for us to have a cool story. Alright, so we finally got this flight path that is not connected to anything. I don't even know how we would connect it. I guess we would have to do Theramore. So for us to be any use to us, we're going to have to connect Ratchet to Theramore, and we might even have to connect to Naris. This is a freaking useless flight path, or we'd have to connect that thing. So, awesome. All of that walk.
Keeper Albagorn was wise to send you with such urgency. Let us see if we cannot call forth aid from the great forest to travel to the Charred Vale before it is too late.
This is like a side grade too. We're going to get the stamina and a pinch of spirit. I'm going to take it. That is a very minor upgrade. Okay, so he says we must hurry. Basically, he's going to go help us. We're done for all intents and purposes, but we can look at what he does. He actually does do something that indicates there's no more questing. We finished it. We're 100% done with this zone. But he basically goes, "Oh, spirits of the forest, come forth and heed nature's call." So there are these Fairless, and he's going to see. Now you can see the spirits actually coming from all the directions of the forest. All the little spirits, much as in World of Warcraft 3, he's summoning them to them, and then he's going to send them off. I don't know. We don't have the ability to follow them. I doubt they actually go. Spirits of the forest, you are needed. Make haste to the Charred Vale. I don't know why they've already renamed it the Charred Vale. And they go off, and that's it. Alright, so now you can really feel like I did it. I healed the Vale. And now he's going to walk back. I don't know if he's going to say anything when he comes back. I don't think he does. Now I got to wait and see. Okay, so now I'm going into... we're going to Hearth and Log. We did it. Thank you guys for... If you made it to the end of this episode, holy cow, you are definitely a real one. I almost didn't make it to the end of this one. But we did it. We have another episode in the pipe. That's a little gnome rogue named Joe Hayden. That's kind of fun. Yeah, another one in that pipe, baby. 5 out of 5. Thanks for turning in, for watching, and I will see all you guys next time on Lore of freaking Warcraft.